Hello and welcome back to the Block Update podcast. It is episode 89 as usual. I'm joined by Slack Lizard, affectionately known by his mother as Jonathan, and I, of course, am Foxy No Tail, affectionately known by my mother as, if you were born first, you'd have been an only child.
Wow, that's
true story.
Good words of encouragement there to grow up to. Huh. Well, here's the next question. Are you the youngest child?
Yes.
Yes, well, I am. Yeah, you definitely broke the mode there.
Yeah.
Oh, good job there, Foxy. Good job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As usual, we like to start the show by thanking our Patreon supporters. We have 55 of them, including 2 top-tier patrons who are now Essifer and Diesel Wolf. If you enjoy this show and you would like to help support us, you can do by going to patreon.com/the block update. The prices are per podcast, and the minimum perks you'll get are subject to discussion, Slack.
Okay.
Right. I haven't talked to you about this, but I thought we'd do it on the podcast, because why not?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Right. I don't like to talk about things in decline and things not doing well, but believe it or not, since we started the Patreon and since we started moving our bonus show talking about what we do in our week, our numbers have dropped significantly, month on month on month, to the point where we're now less than half the number of listeners we were at this point before we started, which isn't ideal, because I don't think we're doing anything greatly different, other than we've taken out a big section of the podcast, which I think people must have really liked. And we did get quite a bit of backlash about that when we first started saying it was Patreon only for the bonus show.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I'm thinking that we stick our fingers up to all of the patrons, because what have they ever done for us? Jeez. And we just stick it back in the main show, that our week in Minecraft from now on. What do you think?
Yeah.
Apart from I don't think we should stick our fingers up at them, really. That's
no, well, maybe the thumbs. You know.
Thank you. Like that.
Thank you for the support.
Really fingers, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the phalanges. I mean, details, right?
Yeah, and I think we should go back to putting our This Week bit, which we have done as a bonus show this week, peeps, and it's a good one. If you want to hear it, then you will need to Patreon up. But yeah, from now on, from next week or the week after, depending on when we do a show, depending on what's going on, we will put that back in. So the patron perks have dropped off decidedly to patron-only Discord channels and a Discord role. So sorry about that, peeps, but I'd rather people just had a good time listening to the show and watching it on YouTube than have, you know, that you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, the people that want to continue to show their support, you know, you still get access to everything as normal, you know, and your support is greatly appreciated. Yeah.
Exactly. But we understand totally if, you know, half of you or more just go, I'm not paying for that then. What a load of rubbish. It's not even a shiny Discord role.
Well, we had to take the shiny one away. Some people complained about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's that. And that means my job's significantly easier again every week, because I don't have to edit the bonus show separately. Oh,
nope, just slap it right into the main one, yep.
Yeah, but well, it'll just be part of it, like we used to do. We'll probably do it after feedback, between feedback and the news, I guess, like we used to. Yeah. Okay, right. Speaking of feedback, Slack, it's time for the feedback. Do you want to start us off?
Oh, feedback. Hey, it might help if I open up this document here.
It would help.
And first we got Guyver here, who says, regarding the discussion about whether or not Bedrock Redstone can support a one-tick pulse, I believe this bug report indicates it can.
Loading up the bug report. 2 comparator loop is able to act like a one-tick clock when powered for 1 tick or when it receives subtractive pulse, which length is odd number of ticks. Is that 1 tick? I mean, 1 tick is 1/20th of a second. And it might seem like 1 tick because it's really fast, but I don't think it is. I still think it's happening every 10th of a second. I don't think we got 1 tick on Bedrock. So,
yeah, I'm just looking at the replies from that. Let's see, what is it? Golden Helmet, could you please explain the gameplay impact of this issue? The simple fact that there is a difference in behavior does not make it a bug and would not be a vanilla parity issue unless the difference was introduced in or after the 1.14 update. Yeah.
So the other thing we can add to this is when me and you were doing myth busting, we were looking at those ticks, and there was even ticks and odd ticks, and redstone. Entities would sometimes work on both, but redstone would only ever occur on depending on when your world loaded up. Sometimes it was the even tick, sometimes it was the odd tick, but it would never work on both. It was only ever one.
Yeah.
So
that's been a thing in Bedrock forever. I mean, that's why we don't have the sticky pistons that can eject blocks. That's why we don't have flying machines that are the equivalent of Java. We just can't. We can make one tick pulses.
Yes,
but it's still only going to run
every other tick.
So you in theory you can't make the same. Yeah, it's not a thing.
No,
not a thing on Bedrock.
I'd like to be proved wrong on that, but at the end of the day, we were speculating anyway. We don't know whether that was the reason why whether they made the changes back, but we're just assuming that's the case because of the way we've seen and been told that Bedrock works.
Yep.
So, okay, CJ says, as always, love the podcast. I listened to it on Spotify. Episode 88 was kind of glitchy / corrupted. Some small parts of audio just looped. I don't know if it was something while editing, recording, or somewhere else. I don't know if the same issue was there on other platforms, but just wanted to let you know. Great content. Can't wait for the next pod. Yeah, it was on everything. I don't know what happened. It was fine when I played it back. It was fine when I was editing it. But as soon as I exported it and stuck it up on the old interwebs, it was all kind of broken. So I apologize about that. I will double check this time and re-upload it if it's a problem. I was rushing with it, so I was a bit late. So I didn't probably check it as much as I could have.
You didn't do a quality check after rendering.
No, well, I found all of the quality assurance teams, like all of the popular game development studios, seem to be doing these days. So I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, the Big Blue Frog says, fun episode this week. Lots of positive vibes. I can tell. That's very weird. Foxy and Slack are excited about the new update and the coming features.
I am and I'm not. I think there are absolutely amazing features that they've shown us, and I think it's probably one of the most exciting updates so far that they've put out in a long time. But I have to admit, I'm still not remotely excited to go back to vanilla. Even if these updates come out, there's nothing in these that has gone, hey, this is that I want to do a let's play on this. Because I've got everything I want with my mod pack. It's wonderful. Every time I do an episode, Slack, I find out more than I could do, and I can't imagine going away from. I can't imagine not having a jetpack. I can't imagine not having storage drawers or framed blocks. And man, I don't want to go back to vanilla. I'm not ready. Jeez. What about you? Are you excited?
I'll be maybe when it gets here.
Yeah.
Because you know as well as I do, things change constantly.
They do. They do change constantly. We might get some more stuff that might just go, do you know what? Did you see the tweet I put out? No one will, because Twitter don't show tweets unless you're verified anymore. That's annoyed me as well. That's like my Duckshot channel. No views on that. No views on Twitter. I put out a funny tweet, Slack.
No, I haven't been home today, and I don't think I've loaded Twitter on this laptop at all since I've been over here.
Just a few days ago, but basically I wrote, I can't remember exactly what I said now, but it was basically along the lines of, I fed a trial key to my frog in real life and it made it ill, so you better take it out of the game.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, they did it with fireflies.
Yeah.
So anyway, right, next piece of feedback is from Battle Chicken, but it's a different Battle Chicken. It's not the same one. Believe it or not, Slack, there's two Battle Chickens out there, and they both listen to this podcast. Who would have thought?
Do they have battles together?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Are they on different teams? Oh man, I want to know now. I want to know where these battles take place, where there's just a bunch of Battle Chickens fighting each other.
Yep.
Are they mechs, do you think?
I don't know.
Or is it more like robots, like from that film with the robots that fight but the remote control?
We need more info from Battle Chickens on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Both Battle Chickens, get in touch this week and tell us. I want to know where the secret arena is, what's the password, and how much it costs to get in. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, it says, I'm a longer listener to the podcast. A long time listener to the podcast. I just thought they were really tall. But this is my first time writing, and I would just like to say that it's excellent and the best pod I've heard. Well, thank you very much, other Battle Chicken. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next up, we got Ori, who says, Hi, I just wanted to say that you both have done an amazing job on the podcast. My Spotify showed that I have listened to you for 5,058 minutes.
Which is quite a long time.
That's a bit.
In fact, if I could actually type numbers into a calculator properly, I'd be able to tell you that's 84.3 hours. Which isn't all of our episodes, Ori, so I'm slightly disappointed in you.
Yeah. I thought maybe they had hit double on our episodes.
Yeah. No. An average of 2 hours an episode. You should have double that.
No. Sorry, try again. All right.
Come back next year when you... Right, okay. Last piece of feedback is from Borenzo, and it's a long one, so hold on to your seats, peeps. It says, Foxy, a few episodes ago, I'm re-listening. See, that's what we want to hear.
Yep.
You talked about opening up your Create world to your patrons so that they could possibly contribute builds to it. I think it's a great idea, and I don't think it's cheaty at all. You're a content creator and you have a community that follows what you do. Adding a way for your community to work with you on something and actually contribute to your world, the world that's actively helping your YouTube channel grow, would be amazing. I don't know of any other content creator that's doing this. Many will take feedback from the community and possibly use it in the world by building it themselves or just naming a village or a pet or something from their comment section. This is a chance for you to do something even better. As far as cheaty, I don't see this being any more cheaty than someone adding a more structures or better villages pack to their world. P.S. I have no stake in this. I play on mobile, so no Java. So this is not just me wanting to get something that I made into your world. So the reason, obviously, I included this is because it is old news, really, and we have covered this before. But there was a correction on this, but I think he corrected himself, to be honest with you. So I never said I was going to open up my Create world to my patrons. I said I was going to open up a server with a copy of it to my patrons and look at cloning in areas of the world that they'd built into mine. But then then he goes on to say about it being cheaty, it's no different from adding a more structures or better villages pack into the world. And I totally agree. And do you know what? That sealed the deal for me, that has. Because I have added like more structures mods and more this, that, and the other mods. And you're absolutely right. It's no different from just stumbling across one of those in your world. So thank you very much, Lorenzo. But you've really helped me think through that. And I think that's definitely something. Well, the world's already open for my patrons, but I haven't copied anything yet, so
good deal.
Yeah, right. That's it for feedback. If you would like to leave us feedback, you can do by joining our Discord. Email, the link for that is in the description below, or you can fill in the feedback form on the blockupdate.com website, or you can send us an email to news@theblockupdate.com. But don't do that. Nobody does that.
No.
Okay, news. We have a whole bunch of change logs this week, Slack. In fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, and we've got some very exciting news as well. So, shall I start us off?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start off, and I'm not going to do this in the order that's on the docs. I'm going to jump right down to Java Edition 1.20.3 pre-release 3, which didn't really add anything. Then 1.20.3 pre-release 4, which didn't really add anything. And then they released Minecraft Java Edition 1.20.3. And this had all of the new stuff in it. And there was a whole bunch of stuff. It's been a long time coming. It was really nice to see. But Slack, do you know what they did?
What'd they do?
They made an epic boo-boo. So in this update, they added the I've just got hiccups. That's not ideal for a podcast. They added the decorated pots ability to store items. You know, you put a stack of items in. Yeah. But they also added the ability that when you reloaded the world, any decorated pots that had items in, the items would be deleted. Which isn't. It's not ideal.
No, that's definitely not part of the plan, I don't think. If it is, that joke's on you guys.
Yeah, and you would think that something like that would, this is why they have the pre-releases and the release candidates to iron all this stuff out. And the fact that got in, pretty shocking, but they're already on the case, Slack. Minecraft Java 1.20.4 release candidate 1, not even a pre-release or anything like that. They're going straight with a release candidate 1 that just fixes that bug. So 1.20.4 is probably going to be out before you know it. So yeah, pretty
substantial bug. Yeah, that's pretty dangerous bug.
I'm going to put all my diamonds in here. Where's me diamonds? The thing is with stuff like that, because the pot's not broken,
you wouldn't know.
That's the only way you can get it out. You know, you'd be going, someone's pinched these, someone's broke that, put it back. Someone's had my diamonds, and then there's just going to be arguments on servers. Who's had my diamonds? People are going to be getting banned. Man, can you imagine the trouble this would cause?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I've seen massive arguments crop up on servers just because someone forgot where they put an item and they realised they put it in a different chest. You know.
Yep. Somebody stole my shulker box, and really, you left it some other farm. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, big problem there. If you are playing on the 1.20.3 release, don't put your items in decorated pots until the 1.20.4 release comes along. Right. And you know what? Things like that are a problem. Things like that are a problem on Java Edition, specifically for people, not people like me, but I guess I'm the end result of it. Modders, right? Modders spend absolutely hours and hours and hours recoding mods to each version of Minecraft, which is one of the reasons why Bedrock would never be particularly well suited for mods, because there's just way too many releases.
No.
Whereas Java Edition's pretty slow. You know, you normally expect a minor release like that every 6 months or so, maybe. If maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So since 1.20.3's been, the snapshots have been coming out, I'm sure the modders have been on it, getting everything updated. And then 1.20.4 comes out a couple of weeks later. I wonder how much more work they've got to do for that, or whether or not it would be realistically the same.
I have no clue on that one.
So, yeah.
Good talk.
Yeah, so that's Java Edition out of the way, which brings us to our favorite version of the game, which is Bedrock Edition. And Bedrock Edition's had a couple of previews since we last recorded, as well as a stable release. So the first preview is 1.20.60.21. Isaac's not happy, is he?
No. Literally recording a podcast and somebody's like, let me just change him right here in the same room.
Thanks, Jen.
Yep.
Appreciate it, mate.
Yep.
I'll get Isaac onto that podcast if it's the last thing I do. It's the first thing you did. Stop it.
Love you.
Yeah, so 1.20.60 0.60.21 came out last week, I believe it was. And it's made a few changes. The copper grate can now be waterlogged, which I hope it works like it does on Java, where when you waterlog leaves on Java and it stays inside.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, because it's Bedrock, but I'd really like it if that was the case.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but it won't be the same now.
They fixed the copper duplication bug, which is a little bit of a shame, but did you see it where if you basically waxed a copper grate, it would turn into a copper block, and then you could then turn it into like 4 more grates? Yeah. So that's been fixed. They've added in the ability for decorated pots. No, I've copied that and pasted that from the wrong thing. No, they haven't. Ignore that. Where was it? I've lost now. Horses, donkeys, and mules now take fall damage when controlled by a player, is my notes. So, I thought that was already a thing.
Yeah. Well, we read it here a while back. I think it was in a beta, but this is still a beta.
It is, but they don't normally put things in twice unless... But that's different, because the other one was you won't take fall damage if you're riding a boat or an entity. The entity will take the fall damage, and if it dies, it will be passed on to you or something.
Yeah,
remember?
I remember. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah. Nether Goldor and Lapis Lazuli have been not nerfed the other way around. We now get a little bit more of it for parity. So instead of just dropping 6 gold nuggets or up to 20... No, instead of dropping just 5 gold nuggets and 20 with Fortune level 3, it'll now be 6 and 24. And Lapis will drop 9 instead of 8, or 36 instead of 32 with Fortune. So not a massive parity change there, but a nice one to see. A little bit more lapis, a little bit more nether gold ore. It's always nice.
Yep. I see there's a nice bug fix up there that I like on destroying a bed through the bottom block now properly clears the spawn point.
I didn't realize it didn't.
Yeah, it's been broke for a long time. If you break your bed at the feet, and go die, you'll still respawn where your bed was. Yep.
Oh, that's useful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job there, right?
Yeah. Something I think's really interesting. I've got to find where it is now, though. Loading screen. So it says the loading screen will now display 3 categories of tips based on player progression. So I take that to mean that the loading screen is going to show you tips depending on what achievements you've had. I assume that'll be, or what maybe on. How does it determine your progression?
I don't know.
Is it per world? Is it per player? Because achievements are per player.
Yeah, so it'd have to be a per world thing.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But then, what's the point in giving you tips for early game stuff if you have played the late game before? You might as well get tips for where you are as a player. So I think this will be based on what achievements you've unlocked, and it'll be like, hey, this person's unlocked this number of achievements. They're clearly at this point in our progression system. So we're going to show them this next level of tips now, maybe.
Maybe.
I thought that's a nice thing. I think that's great because those tip screens are pretty much useless most of the time, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't kill dolphins, you monster.
Yeah.
Don't put them in the game then and make them annoying.
Yep. I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah, and the other thing that I flagged from this, unless there's anything that you can see in here, Slack, is in the new, in the deferred technical preview rendering thing. So they've now added volumetric fog and light shafts, which is a big step towards looking a little bit more like shaders, which is nice.
I see a gameplay feature fix up there that I seriously doubt by looking at it. Stairs and slabs should no longer randomly start placing on the bottom when continuously building.
Oh, I did. I copied and pasted that, but I clearly didn't put it in my notes. But yeah, how many times? How many times have we had that bug fixed?
I don't know. I know that's always a rant whenever we get together and we start building a farm because we always slab everything. Yep.
I remember doing which update was the frogs in?
Oh, God.
Well, whichever update that was, I did a video about the update, and one of the things I was happiest with, and I actually showed it off in that video, was the fact that you could just fly along and place slabs in a line without them deciding that they were going to be on a different level. And that only lasted a little bit before it went back again.
Oh, yeah. It was like the next update, because that's when I think I was doing the Let's Play Bedrock thing. Because the next update, they completely broke it where you had to place them one at a time. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
How can they not get on top of that? What are they fiddling with to mess that up every time?
Do you know? Well, I don't know.
See, this is my issue with. So, over the last few weeks of playing Java Edition, I hadn't played Java in years, and obviously I've been saying for ages I prefer Bedrock Edition. I like the way it feels. I like the way it works. I like making add-ons for it and all that sort of stuff. But over the last few weeks of playing Java, it's really made me realize again how awful Bedrock Edition is. The fact that not just as a creator of add-ons and creator for the marketplace, but just as a player, you're constantly fighting the same battles. And every time you think you get a win, they take it away from you again.
No.
And it's soul destroying when you're as deep into it as we are. And and you just, so looking at it from that outside perspective now and thinking, why did we put up with it for so long?
I don't know.
Why did we bother?
Some of these things, we know it's in-house management of, hey, you're working on this version of the game, you're working on this version, and then code gets just,
it has to get with Java Edition.
Well, they probably got a different in-house system on how they deal with Java Edition than Bedrock's.
Yeah. That's it. But that said, Java Edition still can't place blocks in a line consistently. And all the years that's been out, that really irritates me. The fact that you've got to click every block because they don't place at the speed that you move, it's so infuriating. I wish there was a mod for that would fix that. So
Yeah.
when Bedrock does it well.
Yeah.
But when it slabs and stares,
Yep.
not so
Yeah.
much.
Not so much there. It's like they got the Java code of that over here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's backwards. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's a whole bunch more stuff in that changelog. If you want to know more about any of these changelogs, then all of the links to all of the changelogs will be in the description below. The next beta and preview came out today, and it is 1.20.60.22, and there really isn't a great deal to report. It looks like there's a lot of stuff in there, but there really isn't. There's nothing. A couple of bug fixes. A couple of crash fixes, but nothing really of any interest, which is a bit sad, really, that in the 1.60s, we've had like 3 changelogs and none of them have got anything of really anything interesting in. And
there's been a change somewhere, and I don't know when this change happened. This is a small one. And the fact that we read over these change logs constantly, I figured it had been something that I would have remembered. For some reason now, when I have Bedrock full screen and I click off onto another monitor, it doesn't minimize and completely kick me out of Worlds now.
Oh, really?
Yep. I don't know why.
That would be nice.
Now, if I alt
when
tab,
you're full screen?
Yep, when I'm full screen.
That sounds like a Windows thing rather than a Minecraft thing.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I've noticed that it's done it on both my laptop and my main computer. I can be full screen and open the chest or whatever, hit escape and click over to another monitor, and it doesn't instantly minimize the game anymore.
Well, that's good. I hope they stick with that. That almost reminds me of that really nice feature we had. Do you remember when you could press Alt and what was it? Toggle crouch?
Oh yeah, that'd be a nice feature to have back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then where you could open a book while you were sailing and just carry on, not having to keep pressing up. That was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a real nice one. Or the ability to just toggle crouch by just we had a fancy button key for that, and they took it away from us. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm sure this one will disappear in the next changelog.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so that is it for the previews. That takes us to our latest stable release for Minecraft Bedrock Edition 1.20.50 came out yesterday. And it's got all the stuff we've been talking about for weeks, including the new decorated pot improvements. And as far as I know, our ones don't lose the items when we reload the game. So that's nice. You can put a single stack of items in there. You can use hoppers and hopper minecarts and droppers to insert and extract items from there, which is fantastic. You can use comparators with them. That's about it, really. It is a handy thing, but I really don't know how useful it's going to come in.
Other than for games or something like that, I don't see much use for them.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they would it would be, because I think when people first saw this, they were like, oh, this is going to make sorting systems so much easier because they can only have one type of item in. But it's not, because it still relies on a hopper going in and a hopper going out, which means you still got to lock the hoppers.
Yep.
So, no. We got a new bat. The bat now has a new look thanks to an updated model, animations and texture. So that's nice. New bat's in there.
Yep.
I still don't understand that.
Especially out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just here, have a new looking bat. Why?
I honestly think, like we said before, that this must be them going, we'll just introduce this nice and quietly. We're not going to say anything exciting about it, and get them used to the idea that mobs are going to change slowly.
Yeah, maybe.
Bring them up to date. I don't know whether I prefer the new bat, though. It's bigger. I don't know whether I prefer it. But then it's like everything. Change is difficult, but once you get used to it, you're fine with it, and you can't imagine going back to the old one.
Yeah, maybe.
They now have an encyclopedia Slack instead of the how to play screen, because all kids know what encyclopedias are and really enjoy them. That's a much better word to when you're looking for help with the game than how to play.
Why change it? Oh, because if we have a how to play guide, that means we have standards, and this is what. No.
Yeah. So I get it, but it's, I don't know.
Why? Nah.
You know what would have been a better word, but one they wouldn't have used? Knowledge book. But they can't, because the Java edition would have all got excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So that's there. Realms, Minecraft Realms, although it's not in there yet, but they're saying it's going to be within a week. Realms are going to be getting an update so that there's going to be a 20 chunk render distance, Slack.
That's pretty scary for Realms. Hopefully it does good.
Now, the thing is, with Realms, do you remember not so long ago, they got all excited and were like, Realms, they're running on better hardware now. They're so much better. We're going to increase the simulation distance on everyone's worlds for free. There's no toggle. You can't choose anything else. We're just going to increase it. And within, how many weeks was it before they rolled it back? Because it just destroyed everyone's realms because they couldn't handle it.
I don't think it lasted more than a week, did it?
It was a week or two, I think. So,
yeah.
The thing is with render distance, though, assuming that it works, this is reliant on your device rather than the server now, because we've got this like rendering thing where it actually renders chunks that are outside of your simulation distance on your device rather than on the server, right?
Yep.
So realistically, why is there a limit? And is it going to be toggleable? Are people going to be able to say, well, there's a lot of players on my world, so I want to reduce the render distance?
If it's not toggleable, then that's going to be a bad call.
It won't be. I guarantee it won't be.
Then they're going to melt some people's phones.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think it'll be toggleable on your device still, like per phone. But I'm just thinking in terms of the realm itself, because the server's still going to have to reload a lot of that data still. So I don't know. Interesting. I hope it works. I hope we're not going to have a rollback within a couple of weeks again.
We'll see.
But I prepare for a massive swathes of people complaining that their realms are just lag city again, I imagine. Or chunks have gone missing, or everything's turned black again, or there's weird lighting updates, or there's structures that exist that don't exist.
Yeah, because that's great when those happen.
Yeah. Another good thing with Realms, believe it or not, is finally, after many years of Xbox people struggling, you are now able to download a Realm that's more than 1 gigabyte in size, which is a lot more common than you'd think.
Yep.
So that's good news that that's been fixed. And again, there's a lot of stuff in here, but we have covered it all as the snapshots have been coming out over the last few months. So I really don't think there's a great deal of point in talking about much of it unless there's something you're particularly interested in, Slack.
No, I'm looking through, and this is all stuff we've covered in the last few months.
Yeah.
I don't see anything jumping out saying, hey, this is absolutely new.
No. Which leads us then to our final piece of news, which is quite interesting. It's a sort of a cross between a rumor and a leak.
Yeah.
And that is that in the latest Minecraft video on the Minecraft channel, there is a screen that I'm showing you on the video version of this podcast now, where there's a chap doing work on the crafter, and it's talking about how they built the crafter and design and everything like that. And the software that he's using, I don't know what software it is, but it has tabs for all of the different things he's working on. And one of those tabs, Slack, is named, well, let me just go through them. There's take 2 prototype, take 5 prototype, snapshot realms, Java design system, in-game icons, beats, anvil, something or other, bedrock something or other, and frying table.
Frying table.
A frying table. So we know that 1.21 is to do with tinkering, right?
Yeah.
We've got a crafter. I think there's a strong possibility that tinkering with recipes might be coming to us if this frying table is to be believed. And that would add a whole new section of the game where we can actually combine foods potentially and cook things and make meals, which would fit in line with 1.21.
It would. It would. It'd be interesting if our whole idea of combining foods with potions or something like that actually made its way in or something. But
that would be nice. I'm assuming if with fried eggs, maybe bacon, maybe some fried chicken. Who knows what the frying table might be able to fry? But I'm going to say that it's more of like a combination thing where you would put in a piece of chicken and a carrot and a tomato and you get chicken soup, something like that. In which case, why would you not call it a cooking pot or a cooking station rather than a frying table? I don't know. Now, there's to bear in mind here before we all start getting excited and thinking this is definitely coming. Don't forget that Mojang have said to us many times they'll only show us things that they're confident are that they're worked all the way through and are going to make it into the game. And they work on a lot of stuff that doesn't ever make it into the game. They do a lot of prototyping, as we can see from the prototypes there. They do a lot of what if stuff. And I would say probably, just totally guessing, but I bet I would put money on that more than 90% of stuff that they develop doesn't ever make it into the game.
Yeah, I'd probably wager that. Yep.
So there's no guarantee that the frying table is going to come to Minecraft, but I think that's probably one of the stronger indicators, the strongest type of rumor that you could get actually seeing it in an official Minecraft video on a developer's screen as he's doing development. So what do we think? What do you think, Slack?
It could be cool, but unless, I mean, I'm always for adding new things to the game. But come on, let's have a point in it. So, if let's hope that it would combine up different types of meal to give you better, maybe hunger and saturation. Not just, hey, we're going to give you this and it's going to give you like half a haunch more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it doesn't genuinely benefit, I don't see the point.
No, absolutely not. Now, someone in our live chats just said, could it also be a mod item they're looking at for inspiration? I don't think so. The software that they're using, although I don't know what software it is looks very much like a planning design software. If they were looking at a mod for inspiration, that would just be a JPEG or a PNG or even in game. They're not going to have imported that into this, custom software that they're using specifically. Because why would they do that? What's the point? This software that they're using is stuff that they're using to design and come up with ideas and plan and see how things are going to work. It's like a storyboarding thing if you imagine it from like a movie or a TV show type of thing. So yeah, it wouldn't make sense to have it in there. So I think that's definitely something that they're fiddling with. Somebody's having ideas about, but this is probably at the ideas stage. This is probably an ideas board, and it's just interesting that a lot of those tabs are like prototype this, prototype that, and then frying table is probably one of the only ones there that's actually got a full name.
Yeah. I've gone back to like the 3-minute mark, and I'm like going through the video like frames by frames, and it's very interesting. I don't know what program that is they're using.
Now, we know that they've been fiddling with villagers. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people really like it. But it's not impossible that this could be a new type of workstation and we might get a whole new type of villager. Or it could be something to do with farmers. Or it could just be something we can make in game like the Crafter. The Crafter's a new workstation, nothing to do with villagers.
But yeah, don't we got like 2 workstations now that we still can't do nothing with?
Yeah, we do. But even if that's not something that's coming to the game, I like where these ideas are going. I like that they're thinking about this sort of stuff. Yeah, something to do with cooking, something to do with recipes, something to do with food. Because food in Minecraft, don't mean to do this pun, but it's a bit stale.
Yeah.
And it is. Bread, carrots, potatoes, apples, a bit of beef, a bit of wheat. There's really not much to it, is there? Pumpkin pie. No. Who carries around pumpkin pies? It'd be great.
To go through the mess to make it, Yeah.
Yeah. So this does excite me. It really does. And it's actually quite apt that this has happened in this particular week, because on the episode of Create that I'm making this week, it's all about recipes and cooking and combining food items to get buffs and things. So yeah, when I saw that pop up today, I was like, oh. So yeah.
I saw that. I think it was last night or this morning. I seen somebody made a video on that, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, what else foods would you be able to make from it? Would you be able to make like, a full breakfast? Yeah.
Maybe. I think more like stews, soups, something to do with egg. Maybe they're going to add rice to the game. Maybe pasta. I don't know. Noodles. Who knows?
Are they going to be stackable? Or are they going to be non-stackable? Because we already know how soups go, mystery stews.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we got like a food pouch.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because mushroom stew's nice. It's pretty good but it's just a pain in the butt to carry around with you, and it's not like it's easy enough to make on the go unless you've got stacks of bowls, stacks of mushrooms with you.
Yeah.
So,
unless you're doing like a UHC or something like that, speed running, you usually don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with this. If they go anywhere with it at all. If they don't, absolutely fine. I'm not expecting anything. I just really like the fact that at least someone at Minecraft at Mojang is going, food, recipes.
Yeah.
Right, that is it for our news section of this podcast. We would normally be going into the book date, but Slack, unless you've got any bugs you want to talk about, we have nothing from the community in terms of bugs, so I can only assume that Minecraft's working absolutely perfectly, as usual.
Wow, absolutely no bugs. Nice.
Not a single one to report. So, yeah.
Huh.
You got any?
No.
Right. Well, in which case, we'll go straight into tip of the week. And the tip of the week this week is from Guyver, who says, use an ender chest like a backpack by filling it with shulker boxes and always carrying an ender chest and a silk touch pickaxe with you, which is a really good piece of advice, something I do regularly when I'm playing vanilla, because it is the best way to have everything you need with you for all of your building needs and all of your decoration needs without having to constantly keep going back to your base.
Yeah. Oh, I would also add to that, carry like a stack of shulker shells and chests just so you can make more when you're out and about doing things.
Yeah, well, I always keep my spare shulker shells and chests. In fact, I make sure I've got plenty of wood so I can make chests, because there's no point in carrying like logs and planks and sticks and this, that, and the other. So I always carry a bunch of logs. I've got a whole box full of all the different varieties of logs. I can make, then out on the go, I can make strip logs if I need them. I can make barrels, I can make chests. I always carry special items, which has got my shulker shells in it, my golden carrots, firework rockets, things like that I know if I need to, I can recraft stuff. I've got all my jewels and things if I happen to need to trade something, or I'm going shopping to the shopping area and I want to buy something. Yeah. There's just like no point in taking concrete with you. Just take a box full of all the different dyes, take a load of gravel, take a load of sand, make concrete on the go if you need to. So if you're optimized with it, you realize there's not actually that many raw materials that you need to carry with you in order to craft most of the stuff. So most of the stuff you'll be carrying with you, if you're into decorating, will be things like different varieties of leaves and flowers and things things you can't craft. Whereas all of the craftable stuff, just take the raw materials you need with you and just save a whole bunch of space. Yeah. Have you got a live tip of the week this week, Slack?
Expect the unexpected when traveling. Yeah.
Yeah. Never assume.
No.
Always expect the unexpected. Nice.
No.
Okay. That's it for tip of the week then. So it's time for our week in Minecraft. Slack, what have you been up to in Minecraft this week?
Well, this week, not too much because I've been traveling, but last week was working on, what was it? Bamboo farm for wood.
Oh, okay.
Just a more or less an observerless one that's really nice, really fast, relies on burnout clocks and everything, and just hammers out bamboo, because with the crafter coming on our Forever Slackville world, we've already got a perimeter made for an old witch hut, and it produces all the redstone. So we're going to turn that area into like a factory to produce all the redstone stuff that we need. The only thing we'll really have to add into the area would be quartz.
Oh, okay.
But we're in the process of, digging out the perimeter I'm pretty sure the perimeter has been dug out now because we turned the sim distance up on Slackville to 6.
Right.
So they're in the process of building a gold farm on there, another base gold farm that produces, I think it's between 400 and 500 blocks of gold an hour. And that's going to be going into a barter farm that just cranks insane amounts of drops out. But it's just kind of prep work in preparation for the crafter. That's really been going on right now. It's like, okay, so if we get the crafter, we can automatically convert the bamboo sticks into into logs, and then we could take that and run it through and make this and make that. So a lot of just prep work in preparation for the crafter. And I tell you, by the way these updates are coming out, I think that update's going to be sooner than later. I don't know. A lot of people were saying summer. I don't think it's going to make it to summer.
Yeah, don't forget they did this last year, though.
Yeah.
They did this last year and they dropped us a handful of items. And then over the course of the next few months, we got all sorts of new things. Yeah, I mean, literally, like a couple of weeks after last year's thing, we had the bookcases, we had the camels, we had the signs, the hanging signs, things like that. You could have said the same thing then. But then it just kept coming.
Yeah, but a lot of those.
Cherry blossoms.
That's a very good argument. That's a very good argument. But a lot of the things that went into the full release version of the game that were behind experimental pretty much came out before it went live.
Not really. The updated skins did, but the main features I don't think did they?
It feels like they did.
I would be amazed. It doesn't make sense for them to. Would it make sense for I suppose like winter is a quieter time of year, so to push an update out, but then that I think they would have said by now, because you'd really want to hit that for the Christmas holidays.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more spring. I just don't see it making it to summer, but maybe it will.
I'm not convinced. It'd be nice if it did, but I think we've still got another good solid 6 months before we see any of that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What have you been doing in Minecraft? No, that's about it.
Slack, I have been upsetting my viewers.
Have you been killing cats?
No, I obviously the create mod does a lot to do with trains, and I thought it'd be really cool to. In fact, it was while I was away. I think I talked about it last time on the podcast. While I was away, I saw a picture of on a wall in a restaurant we were in, and it was a really cool looking train. It looked really futuristic.
Yeah,
and it turned out it was built in like 1937 or something like that. And so I learned. I thought I want to build that in Minecraft in my Create series. So I learned all about it, looked at its history and things like that. And it was an express train, it's a passenger train. I don't have any passengers in my world, but I got a lot of items I want to move around. And I was it just happened to coincide with me building this like train container yard that had a whole bunch of like container carriages that needed pulling.
Yeah.
So I built this really cool train. I even put like a little historical bit while I was building this time lapse and put in some real life footage of it and how it's been like restored over the years and it's done this and it's done that. And it all went really well. Everybody liked it. But then I got a whole like wave of comments, not angry, not nasty or anything like that, but just really made me laugh from people that just couldn't hack the idea that this was pulling freight and not passengers. That's an express train. An A4 class would never do that. But the funny thing was, in that video, I showed clips of that train pulling freight, but they couldn't handle it. They absolutely couldn't handle it. And they even started in my Discord. I can't watch this. You can't do that with this train. So I thought I'm going to make it didn't bother me. I wasn't like angry or upset or anything like that. But I thought this is a really good opportunity in my next video to just be really sarcastic and snarky. So I went on this big sort of 5-minute rant about how Minecraft's really realistic, and I try and make it as realistic as possible. And I'm like standing in lava underneath an anvil that's held up by string that's not attached to anything, while I'm talking about this. And so then so I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm absolutely wrong. I shouldn't have made this train. It would obviously never pull freight, and then showed videos of it pulling freight, and then showed screenshots of like news articles about these trains being used to pull freight and all that sort of stuff. So I put it away. I don't know if you've ever seen the old Thomas the Tank episodes from years ago, but there was one. Henry the train, he didn't like going out in the rain, so they basically blocked him up in a tunnel, and it was really sad as a kid. It was really sad that this engine that you really like, you fell in love with those engines when you were little, and this engine, Henry, just got locked up in the tunnel until he could be good, basically. So I did the same thing. I locked up this train in a tunnel, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to build a freight train. So I was like, okay, how can I really wind these people up? So I went online and I searched for freight trains that were pulling passenger cars, like specific ones, and I found this particular one that there was just tons of videos online of this freight train pulling passenger cars. So I was like, just like totally honestly in the video, right, I've made this freight train, but guys, I've made another mistake. I've been looking for stuff on the internet about this pulling freight and all I can find is it pulling passengers. So I was like, you've got to go as well. So I got rid of that one. And then I was like, okay, guys, I know how to fix this. So instead of building a train, I built basically this giant skateboard and just got that going round and round and round. And I thought it was really funny. Everybody, most 90% of the comments on that video absolutely loved it, totally got it. But there were so many people that just didn't get the sarcasm at all.
Oh, yeah. You hit a group of, I guess, a culture, a subculture. Yeah. You're messing with my trains. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it was really funny to me. And I just had such a great time, but a lot of people thought I was really angry and really serious and like, oh, you're hating on these haters, and I'm like, no, I'm just playing with it. It's funny. Keep those sorts of comments coming because then I can respond in this funny way, and I like that. That's great. So I did that, and then so that episode, I ended up building a big old animal barn. And putting loads of animals in there and finding interesting ways using the create mod to breed them and then split up the babies and then grow the babies and then turn them into meat, which is fun. Mm-hmm. And then the episode that I recorded after that was a continuation of that one, really, where I built a huge farm with all of the different crops. And because we've got all of these mods, there's loads of different types of crops. And I thought I'd make a tractor to go round with like a little harvester thing on the back, and it goes up and down the fields and it harvests it all, which is really good fun. That's just come out today and people seem to be really liking that one. And then in this video that I'm recording now, I'm now taking all of that food, so all of the crops that I've harvested and all of the meat, and I'm taking it to a new building that I've made using a meat van, I don't know if you've got them in the US, but basically we have almost like little tiny lorries in the UK. They look like a lorry or a truck, if you like. It's got a box on the back and a little mini cab. And I've always called them meat vans. I know people call them meat vans, but I don't know if they're always known as meat vans. So I basically got one of those that goes to the farm, picks up all of the items, and then takes it sort of down the road to where this building is. And I'm just at the process now, probably about halfway through the video recording it, where I've now got all of this food stuff in there, but I've got to go, right, okay, that all needs cooking. That all needs slicing and chopping up. All of those ingredients need together in order to make making all these foods. I need this, I need that. So I've got quite a big space to do it, but it's going to be an absolute nightmare trying to wangle all these individual ingredients round into automatic sort of processing machines to try and make these meals. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. Although I'm also thinking this is going to be a headache. So
you got it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. If not, I'll just make a kitchen and do it manually. But I kind of want to automate it. So, yeah, that's pretty much been my last couple of weeks in Minecraft, just winding people up, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's fun to do sometimes. Just sometimes you got to. I mean, sometimes you got to poke at chat,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I haven't had a good sort of ranty poke chat like that since I last live streamed, so it was nice to get like that off my plate in a like what I thought was entertaining and creative way, and most people really enjoyed it. Most people said they thought it's the funniest thing they've seen, so it was great. Right, that is it for our week in Minecraft. We are now moving swiftly into the wish list, and we got a handful of wishes. So Slack, do you want to start us off?
Yes, we got the Blue Frog up first. It says, I wish that if we put a campfire under a cauldron, it would make the bubble effects like soul sand or magma blocks do in the water source blocks.
Why? I get for decoration, but why? What would you do with it? Boiled chicken. Boiled chicken. Yeah. Boiled potatoes. Boiled carrots.
Part of the food update, yeah.
Really hot potions. Well, maybe you could put like stone in there and turn it into lava.
Well, we're getting the potential mystery of a frying table. Maybe we'll get a bowling table too.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not going to put that in good ideas, but I
No.
kind of like it, but it needs fleshing out a bit more. We need a bit more.
Yeah.
Battle Chicken 2 is back, saying, I wish for baubles / accessories that will provide slight buffs. These would be things such as extra health, speed, strength, and night vision. There would also be debuffs like the HP giving slowness, speed giving weakness, and strength giving less health. Strength would be +2 damage and weakness would be -1 damage. There would be a separate area in the inventory for this. I've played with mods that do that have like little slots for like trinkets and things like that. I don't really think it adds a great deal when you can already put those things on your armor. I don't really see much point. I guess speed and strength you can't have on your armor, but you can put strength on your weapon. Extra health is that's no different from having damage resistance, like protection on your armor, so you don't need it. It would be nice to have like night vision goggles, I guess. Like a permanent buff in some way. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it, but I just don't think...
In the way that it's explained, I don't like it. I don't know what would need to change. But then again, that'd take us like into the food update where we've talked about before, so...
Yeah. It's not an awful idea, Battle Chicken. I don't know.
We're not sold on it.
Yeah, maybe if they were like relatively rare things, a little bit like the smithing templates where you had to dig them up from an ancient, what they call trail ruins or something like that. And you get you get a legendary artifact or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe you get them for completing tasks in the world, almost like a reward for doing achievements, if we got achievements per world. But maybe if I would genuinely like it if Minecraft, even vanilla Minecraft, would add in like a what's it called, a thingy book where you could go through quest log.
Yeah.
And you okay, I'm gonna follow this quest line. I'm gonna get all the way, and you get to the end of that, and yeah, you get a little trophy, you get a trinket that you can put on, and it gives you a little bit of speed boost or something. No, I wouldn't mind that.
What
do you think?
Yeah, I would like to have that. Yeah, that I could get behind. Battle Chicken's ideal, not so much here.
Okay, well, I shall put in good idea quest book rewards. Yeah. Okay.
I like that. Per world.
Yeah, per world, obviously. Yeah. I wouldn't want like something that gave you like, oh, well, you've got attached to your character across all your worlds now, you've got speed 2 because you did all of these quests. No,
that'd be horrible. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
That'd be very bad.
Okay.
Speaking of bad, Lorenzo here. Not saying it's bad, but I'm not exactly so. It says, I wish for monkeys. More importantly, I wish for the ability to stack monkeys.
Yeah. That comes from because I stack a lot of monkeys in my create mod. I've got a mod called Carry On, which allows you to literally pick up anything. You can pick up a block, you can pick up a chest, you can pick up a villager, you can just pick it up like the one block thing in the April Fool's update. I want that ability in Minecraft because it doesn't cause any issues at all with the gameplay. Yes, okay, it makes moving villagers around really easy. It makes moving chests around that have got items in really easy. But when you're holding something, you can't do anything else. If you take damage, you drop it. You can't use your sword. You can't dig anything. You can't hold it and then do something else. And you go slow as well. I think it's fantastic. And it really has made the game more fun. And the fact that then you can, like, if it's a small animal, you can put that on top of another animal and it'll stack it. And if it's like, you can make a big old stack of the little monkeys. You can stack them right up, make a big pile of them. You can do that with the big monkeys actually as well. You can't do that with some of the bigger animals, but it's just good fun. I really like it, so I haven't got a problem with that. In terms of monkeys, I don't want them to add any animal unless they're going to add all the animals.
Yeah.
If they go, hey, we're having a zoo update, and they add in all of the animals, I don't care if they do anything. I don't care if they drop anything. Great, give me some ambience. Give me more mobs, passive mobs spawning in the world so my world feels like it's full of animals. Great. But
okay.
Don't just give me a monkey.
Yeah, I don't want another passive mob at all. Not unless it serves a purpose. And the weird name of stack monkeys, can we just call it like sticky hands or something? You know?
Well, it's just talking about stacking them on top of each other. He's not saying they're called stack monkeys. He just wants the ability to be able to put animals on top of other animals, make them ride each other in towers.
I mean, I love the idea of being able to grab a chest with all the items in it and move it.
Yeah.
Even villagers or whatever. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Just I don't want another passive mob. No.
So basically, good idea, the carry-on mod.
Yeah.
Okay, right, good. I'm glad we're getting that in Minecraft because I love that.
No.
That might make me want to go back to vanilla if we had that.
No.
Okay, Ocean Vim says, hello, Foxy and Slack. I would like to uncraft combined minecarts, particularly minecarts with chests. I always end up finding so many. I would rather have the minecart and chest separate. I would like to decraft, like you decraft, a block of diamonds. It is sometimes quite frustrating since they made that change when you break them that they don't separate, but it's also a massive relief that they don't because then you're not having to recombine them constantly every time you break one to move it.
No.
But yeah, uncrafting those, maybe you could do that in the grindstone. Throw it in the grindstone and it gives you both the items back or something like that.
Throw it in the furnace, it might give you a nugget.
No. But yeah, I can understand why you'd want to do that because or make them stackable at least so you don't just end up with a chest full of chest minecarts.
Yeah. Well, that goes into like the reverse crafter that we've talked about before, where you can throw your slabs and stuff back in there and get your raw materials back. Yeah,
which I think is in the good ideas bin. So
yeah, pretty sure it's already there.
When that gets in Ocean, then your wish is granted.
Yeah,
don't need to put it in the good ideas bin.
Yeah. Bouncy Ball's up next and says, I wish there a chest that everyone on the server could access, but only worked like an ender chest.
Yeah, so like a community chest. A little bit like Monopoly.
A world chest.
Yeah. That's quite an interesting idea. If you're playing on a friendly server, like a community-based server where you're all building together, that's quite a good idea that you could be like, oh, I need logs. So you just throw in some logs at your end, and then they end up in this chest here. I don't know how that...
I'm trying to think how to do that with commands because I really like the idea of that.
I think it's a good idea.
Oh, I think it's a good idea.
The only problem is it's obviously going to be quite limited. And let's say you've got 20 people working on something and they need all these different items and they're all trying to shove items in at the same time. You're going to have someone stood the other side just pulling all the items out constantly. But yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Oh, it would be great. A community chest, like you build it out of certain materials. So kind of like how an ender chest is built, but you built it a very specific way. So you got these scattered about the world. And say I need materials from the Guardian farm at, say, some other farm I'm building. Somebody else can go to the Guardian farm, chuck all those in there, and I can be pulling them out. Oh, yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea.
That's one of the best ideas I've heard in a while.
One chest per world as well.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that would be doable with commands. I think as long as both chests were loaded, you could do that with the new scripting system. Because you could figure out what item had gone in where, and there is a command to just transfer that to another inventory. So yeah, you could do that with the script as long as they were both loaded. The problem would be if let's say you put an item into that chest at your base, and then you go over to the other area and try and open it. There's not going to be anything in there because your base is unloaded, so it can't read what's in there.
What if these chests, now just go on a crazy way with me here, were also ticking areas?
Yeah, so that would work. So yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. You could have like a very small ticking area at spawn with a chest maybe like under bedrock in the middle. Yep. And that's always loaded. So whenever you put an item into the chest in your base, it's going to go into there. The problem with that though, it's not going to show you what's in, well, I suppose it would. You'd have to mirror whatever's in there in the one in your base as well. And the problem, you would run the risk of, I've just put a stack of wood in there where there was a bit of lag, and because it wasn't in the other chest and it's replicating what's in the other chest, it didn't actually go into the other chest. So now, now that stack of wood's been deleted out of my chest. Do you know what I mean? It needs to know that you've put an item into a chest and when you've taken an item out of a chest, so that it's not just duplicating those items effectively.
I think
it's doable.
It's doable. It's doable. If we could do it via the commands and everything else, then yeah, I like it. I really like it. Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Right, the last one, the last wish is from Lucy. Says, I wish all enchantments were always listed in the same order on tooltips of gear. For example, fortune would always be at the top, and mending would always be at the bottom of the list. Each enchantment could be given a weight to make them always stack in the same order. Yes, I would love that, but there's a big problem with that.
Okay, what's the big problem with that?
Well, they can't always go in the same order, can they? Mending can't always be at the bottom, and fortune can't always be at the top, because I figured when I first read this, I knew exactly why, but I've forgotten now. But it doesn't work. You can't. I suppose, if every single enchantment had a number order, like starting from the top, the protection was 1, I don't know, feather falling was 2, then they're always going to appear in the same order, but they're not always, like, one's not always going to be third, because you might have different enchantments on one thing.
Yeah, exactly. If the enchantments themselves had an order system, they always stayed the same. Yeah,
but they're not always going to appear in the same place, because if you've got an item with 6 enchantments on and an enchantment or something with 3, then mending's going to be number 3 on one, but it's going to be maybe number 6 on the other. So I think it would make it better. I think it would certainly make life a lot easier when you're looking at them to be able to see what order they're in. But I still don't think it would be perfect. But I think it. So I'm going to put that in good ideas bin.
Yeah, I like it. Let's have it.
Wow, we got a bunch of good ideas bin today. We got only 2 of the wishes didn't get in the wish list. And if you don't know, peeps that are listening, every single wish that gets granted by us is guaranteed to get into the game at some point before the end of the world.
Oh, you didn't put good idea on bouncy balls.
Oh, did I not? Oh
no.
I must put it on the wrong one then. I did. There we go. Still.
No.
Good. Nice. Wish list done. Ticked it off, mate.
Nice.
Which means we are in our very last section, the question section. And if anybody's listening that would like to ask a question, then you can throw it into the live questions channel on the Discord. And when we've finished this handful of questions, we might just get to it. Start us off, Slack.
First up, we got Lorenzo says, Foxy, back when you used to stream, do you remember those days? Squinty, bright looking eyes looking at you. You did a stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time with the help of a chuck loader. Did Twitch ever slap your wrist for that?
Nope. I don't think Twitch has ever reprimanded anybody for multi-streaming. Ever.
No.
I don't think it's happened. And also, recently, since that, they've actually changed their terms and conditions completely now to allow you to multi-stream to any platform. The only caveat is that you are not allowed to show on your Twitch chat, on your Twitch screen, a combined chat.
Yep.
So that's the one thing. However, have you heard of a guy called Harris Heller?
No.
He used to run his channel was called Alpha Gaming. It's now Senpai Gaming. He does a lot of stuff about stream equipment and stream videos. And he was quite a big streamer at one point. He started you must have heard of Stream Beats.
Yeah.
Music. Yeah. He came up with that. That's his. So he's made him many millions of pounds.
Yeah.
So he went to TwitchCon this year, because Twitch kicked out the old boss, and they've got a new boss now. He met the new boss, and the boss agreed to actually do a live stream with him to talk about all of the changes that were being made, and he actually did. One of the caveats to doing that like live stream with the boss was you're not, because he said, I'm going to multi-stream it. He's like, okay, but you're not allowed to combine the chat. And he said, yeah, no problem. Well, he didn't say, yeah, no problem. He said in his video, I didn't see that email. So he had on his stream, which this other guy was in as well, that he was combining the chats. And he's also done several other streams, which this guy, the boss of Twitch, has been in the chat talking to and watching it with the combined chat, and he's not got into trouble. And he's even been saying in his videos that you're not gonna get in trouble. So
yeah, I think it'd take a lot to get in trouble.
Yeah, I really don't think they care. The only reason that it exists is because they have to be the thing. It doesn't make sense, but their reasoning is it's about safety. So if somebody says something bad in your Twitch chat, then that's Twitch's responsibility.
Yep.
If you're multi-streaming and somebody says something bad in your YouTube or your Kick chat, and then that's in your Twitch chat as well, then Twitch can't be responsible for that, but they have to be because that's content going out on their platform, which kind of makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense because they also can't be responsible for the stuff you might say or you might show.
But see, you brought that up, but that's interesting because I'm part of the new beta program on Twitch for multi-streaming. What that means is me and you could both load up Twitch right now, okay? And we go into what is more or less a private Discord call on there. And my source gets put up there and your source gets put up there, and say we stream from one individual channel, okay?
Yeah.
And people, the viewers, can choose which feed they want to watch, right? An interesting thing that they put in here with that, because I was reading over the terms and conditions of that the other day. If I'm streaming on my channel, okay, and you're the guest, I'm not responsible for you at all.
Really?
If you break Twitch terms of service, it's on you, not me.
Oh, interesting. So you don't get in trouble for me totally destroying your channel?
Nope.
So I could come on, get in my hot tub, right?
Yep.
Take my bikini off and start jiggling and wiggling, and you won't get in trouble.
It will be on you, not me.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody just posted it in the chat. You won't be banned for guest behaviors. Your guests are on the hook for their own behavior.
So in which case then they should surely just have the same thing about, because you're not combining chat into their chat window. You're combining it onto your screen.
No.
They can't control what you put on your screen, although there are terms and conditions about what you can stream.
Yeah.
But there's every possibility that what comes up in that chat window could, So anyway, that's their rules, and they haven't slapped anyone's wrist for it yet, and I very much doubt they will. And I don't think they even monitor it. I don't think they even care.
No, I think it has to be something that somebody really complains about or something for them. It's probably a fallback safety precaution that they have to have, you know?
Yeah, it'd be to make the lawyers happy or whatever.
Yeah.
And unless something horrendous did actually happen, I don't think they'd pay any attention.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. Right, next question was from Purple Hoser. It says, "Hey, Foxy and Slack. I am here for the first time in a while. Took a break from gaming and stuff, but back with a question. Is Xbox Game Pass Ultimate worth it? I know it has a lot of expensive PC games, but it's $60 for 3 months, which is a lot. Just wondering where you guys stand." Purple. We can't answer that question for you, Purple, because it's totally subjective to how much time you've got to play those games and whether the games on Game Pass are suitable to you. Ultimate is only useful if you actually want to play on PC and console. Otherwise, it's pretty much pointless. You might as well just get the standard Game Pass and either play it on PC if you get the PC version, or play it on the console if you want to play the console version, and it's substantially cheaper, but the game catalogue is identical. It seems like there's more games on Game Pass Ultimate just because it includes the console and the PC games, because you can play on both. But if you're only playing on console, you don't need Ultimate. If you're only playing on PC, you don't need Ultimate. And if you haven't got much time to play, and you're only going to be playing 1 or 2 games, let's say in 3 months, let's say, then for $60, that's the same as the price of one AAA game. So you're basically buying a game every 3 months. If you don't play that many games, let's say you only play 1 game a year, 2 games a year, then no, it's not worth it, because you might as well buy the games.
Yeah. It's all about your time and money investment. Yep. Yeah.
But I think it's great, and I often subscribe to Game Pass. In fact, it caught us out the other day because I cancelled my subscriptions to it a while ago because there weren't any games that I wanted to play. And Oliver really wanted to play Minecraft with me again. And would you believe it's like, couldn't get into each other's world on Bedrock Edition. We tried everything. So eventually I was like, okay, we'll go on the Xbox again, because we know it works when you do it on the Xbox. Fired the Xbox up, and he's like, no, you can't do that. You ain't got Xbox Game Pass.
Wow.
But it's a LAN world. Come on, why are we going to pay an online service fee to join the LAN world?
No, sorry, mate. No.
So,
jeez.
Yeah, kind of sucks, but I still think Game Pass is great for the amount of content they've got on there, and it's not just like PlayStation Plus where it's a handful of games that we don't really care about. It's all the good games on Xbox. Like Microsoft owns most of the studios now, so you got all the Bethesda games, all the Microsoft games, all of the Activision Blizzard games will be coming soon. You know, it's if you're a big gamer and you play in a lot of games,
then it's probably worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next.
Not So Blue Sheep is up next. It says, Foxy, I think I heard you say you're using Forge on your Create series. I'm still learning about mods, and I understand Fabric can be used to load mods to the game. What made you decide to use Forge, and what can you tell me about the differences between them? Would you recommend Forge to someone brand new as playing with mods?
There is practically zero difference between them, but some mods work on Forge, some mods work on Fabric. If I had the choice for this series that I'm doing, I'd be playing on Fabric because then I could use things like the replay mod. It's also these days Fabric gets a little bit more love and support than Forge does because it's the new sort of golden child of modding, if you like. So you tend to find it's got a lot more mods on it. However, it just happened to be that all of the mods I wanted for this particular series, they were available on Forge, but not all of them were available on Fabric. So I don't know what the actual difference is between them both are, other than if you basically you look at the mods that you want, find out if they're available on either one, and then you like some of the ones I really wanted I couldn't have because they're only on Fabric and vice versa. Yeah. So you pick the one that suits. I don't think either of them is better for beginners than other. It's just about which mods you want to play.
Yep. They're all going to provide a learning headache if you're new to it.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would strongly recommend taking the time to learn the software I use is called Multi-MC. And when you first look at it, it's a bit daunting. But a lot of mod launchers like CurseForge, which is really popular, and the reason that's popular is it basically stores your profile in it online, so you can play it anywhere. Yep. But the problem is, every time you want to load into your game, it downloads all the mods to like a folder on your PC, and then it opens up the Minecraft launcher with the temporary profile and then puts you into the game. And then if you want to go back to that world, you can't just go to your Minecraft launcher and find it again. You have to go back through CurseForge and then and it's just an extra long process. Whereas Multi-MC, you can have a lot of processes separately, but it actually logs you into your Microsoft account in that app. So when you click to load one of them up, it doesn't have to go through the Minecraft launcher. It just loads straight up into your game. So I find it's much better for managing what mods you've got, managing your screenshots, managing your worlds, and you can have multiple modded instances in it. And I find it, for me, it's a lot less of a headache, but it does take some learning.
Yep.
CurseForge is really, if you don't want to learn all that, CurseForge is really easy. You just pick mods and it just goes in there. But like I say, it's a slow process actually loading it up.
It's a preload like every time. Yep.
Yeah, and especially if your game crashes a lot, it's a pain because man, okay.
Are you mean every time you get disconnected from the internet every 124 seconds?
Oh yeah. No, that's not so bad because it doesn't kick you out of the actual game. But when you get a hard crash and your game shuts, it's a pain.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it me or you?
It is you, I think.
Okay. Ziggy says, "Hi Foxy and Slack, I've been loving the show. It always confuses me for a bit when you don't talk about the most recent Minecraft stuff when the episode comes out until I remember when it's recorded. Also, question, what do you think the secret feature for this update will be, if there will be one, like the cherry forest?" I think it'll be a frying table. I don't know. How would we possibly... I don't know. What do you think it would be, Slack? Wild guess.
Wild guess. Hold on. I need to Google. Hold on.
We did do, if you want to go back a few episodes ago, I can't remember which one it was, but we did some predictions for... it was before Minecraft Live. We did a whole episode, well, not a whole episode, but a big part of one episode based on our predictions of what we thought was going to be coming in 1.21. And there's some interesting ideas on there. So, go check that out. But as from what we know now, I really don't know where it could go. I don't know.
All right, so we've kind of got pine trees with spruce. Kind of. Maybe we'll get a pine biome. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, there's a few wood types that we're still lacking. We're lacking sort of more of a is it beech wood? Which wood am I thinking
Palm
of?
tree? Palm tree going into the desert, late update?
Yeah, no, I'm not thinking of the tree. I'm thinking of the actual wood. There's the more, not as vibrant orange as acacia, but not as sort of brown as spruce. That more sort of, I can't think. I think it's beech. I don't know, but there is a wood color that I think they're missing that they could probably do with. But
we got several of those meadows still that need to be filled. So
yeah. Okay. Next question, Slack.
Lakuka, that's a name I haven't seen for a while. Says, what's your favorite thing about Minecraft community, and what is your least favorite thing about the Minecraft community? Love the podcast. Keep up the great work.
Well, that's easy for me. What do you think, Slack?
Like the Minecraft community as a whole?
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite thing would be. I know what my least favorite thing is when people get toxic to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially towards developers or content creators or other things like that.
That's exactly it. How angry and how toxic and how pedantic people can be, and how that can actually have a serious effect on what we get in the game. That's my least favorite thing about the Minecraft community. 100%.
Actually, if I were to describe probably what my favorite thing is about this game, the Minecraft community that we're all part of, it's the fact that it brings people from totally different styles of life together, that if you walk past each other on the street, you'd never say a word to each other. The number of people that I've met that range in career fields from being mechanics to working at NASA to being truck drivers to owning factories to just all this stuff. And if we walk past each other on the street, you'd never say a word to them. You'd never know them. You wouldn't know nothing about them. But the fact that a game, for me, and I know it's done it for others, has created friendships and bonds that will last long beyond the game. That's what I love about the game. Yeah. I really can't go no higher than that. I mean, look, Foxy, look, we were random people that would never, if we walked past each other on the street, we would never said nothing to each other. Maybe a nod or something like that. Different backgrounds, different styles, different countries. Yet we don't even really play Minecraft together anymore right now, you know, but we still talk about it, and we've created a bond and a friendship that will probably last long beyond Minecraft, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's a really good answer. It's not what I was going to say, but I've got to agree with you. I think that is probably one of the best things about the Minecraft community. My answer was just going to be how ridiculously creative people can be, and how Minecraft itself enables that, and the crazy things that people can come up with, and the crazy ways in which it's been used in schools, education, artwork, you know, planning. Like, I know people that plan out my dream home, and this is how actually I'm going to lay out my office, and this is going to, you know, you don't see many games that show you how creative and how thoughtful and how many ideas people have. There's not many things in the world that show you just there's this wealth of people in the world that are just ridiculously creative. And I can't think of another example that shows that.
No.
So that was my answer.
Yeah, it's a good answer too.
Okay. Lucy says, do you think rain should stop when you sleep? No, why would that? Why? What?
No.
What?
No.
Oh, speaking of questions, like, I don't know if this is a meme or not. You might not have heard it, but it's been circling around. I've heard it in a couple of places. I heard it on a podcast the other day. I even got it asked in a comment. And the question was, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? Have you heard this? Is it a meme?
I've seen a couple things about it, but I couldn't tell you.
Well, the other guys that we're talking about on this podcast were saying that they're like, and they sounded like they were talking about it generally, like genuinely. But they were like, after someone asked us that question, we thought about it and can't believe, I think about the Roman Empire every single day. And I'm like, why? Am I weird? And it seems to be, when you look at it and people responding to it, whether or not they're joking or it's just part of this meme that I don't get. But generally speaking, everyone seems to be like, oh yeah, I think about that. I think about war tactics and this. And I'm like, it doesn't even occur to me. Why would it be in your head?
It sounds like a meme thing. It really does.
It does. I just don't get it. But it was the way they were talking about it seemed so genuine. So I don't know. So anyway, I thought that might be another one of these, is it blue or is it brown type situations where just there's some people out there that just do. They just think about, like, some people are religious, some people aren't. Some people think about the Roman Empire all the time.
It's like me and Jen the other day had a weird topic come up in conversation. Okay. I think everybody and their brother always says, oh, I got to watch out because the inner voice in my head is talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the difference between me and her. She says she actually hears a voice in her head. I joke about it all the time, but I've never heard my own voice in my head. Never.
Really?
No.
Oh, I do.
No.
Yeah, mine. And half the time I hear it out loud because I talk it.
No.
in silly voices.
Never.
Don't you hear yourself?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Like, I sit here and read something silently. I read the text. There's no voice in my head. There's no.
Really? Okay. I hear reading these things out loud. I hear myself reading it in my head.
No, radar. I don't. I see the words and I recognize the words. There's no voice in my head.
That came up, something similar to that came up. I think it was Jesse B and a couple of other people on Twitter not long ago talking about people that can see things in their head. Like, I think she was saying that, if you imagine an apple, can you actually see it in your head? And I was like, well, yeah, but if you can't, how do you remember what people look like? how do you know who your mum is? And so yeah, I mean, if I think about somebody or something, it's not like there's a painting or a photograph there that I'm looking at, but I can see it. I can see what it is, and I can hear it. I remember years ago, I was actually probably like either early teens or even younger than that. And I was really into twiddling about on the piano. And one night I went to bed and I was just thinking about the sounds. I don't know why. I was thinking about the sounds that keys make on a piano. And and it was absolutely silent. And I would swear to you that somebody had like wheeled a piano into my bedroom and pressed one of the keys next to my ear. That's how real it was that I heard the piano, like just because I was thinking about it. And I don't know, it's just
okay. All right, so right now, if I said imagine in your head placing down a dropper and then putting an auto dropper onto that so that auto bonificates, can you see the comparator followed up by the repeater and the redstone dust? See, I don't
you? I know exactly what it looked like. Yeah,
I have no picture of that in my mind at all. None.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
None.
Well, that's amazing.
It's just
people are weird, aren't they?
Yeah, it is, because I know what it is.
Yeah.
I can't even force myself to make an image of it in my head.
Really? Okay. Well. Right. Last question from Lorenzo. It's you, isn't it?
Sure. As asking your YouTube audience to subscribe to help, I've always wondered if that did anything to numbers.
I always used to say no. But I can tell you if you're getting a lot of views, it makes a big difference.
Yep.
So years ago, well, not even years ago, 3 months ago, I would have said to you, no, I don't think it makes any difference because I tried it a bunch of times and I've never really noticed an increase in subscribers. But you're talking the difference between getting maybe 5 subscribers a video and 6 from the numbers I was getting on my videos. When I started doing these create videos and I'm suddenly getting, 50, 60,000 viewers per video instead of 5 or 6,000, then it makes a big difference. It's a difference between 300 and 600.
Yep.
Depending on how you do it, depending on where you throw it in as well. I would never ask at the start. I started putting it in during time lapses just so, because it's pretty much dead air anyway other than the music, and it's not going to affect anything, rather than me just cutting out of the video and then cutting back in with a, hey, do you want to subscribe now? Let's go back to the video. I just do a little voiceover and an animation while there's a time lapse on. And yeah, I can see a massive difference, almost doubling the number of subscribers I'm getting when I've got a video with that in to when I'm not. But the other big difference there is my videos are going out mostly to people that aren't subscribed to my channel. If you look at how many people are subscribed to my channel that are watching these videos, 80% of the people watching these create videos aren't subscribed to me. So there's a whole bunch of people I know there are watching the videos that aren't subscribed. Whereas my Truly Bedrock videos, like I would say it was the other way around. 80% of the people watching those videos were subscribed to me. So there's a much smaller group of people that could potentially subscribe. So that's the big difference.
Yep.
So yeah. Right. That's the end of the questions, which means it's the end of the podcast. If you would like to ask us a question, give us a wish, lend us some feedback, or post a bug, then you can do by joining our Discord and typing in the appropriate channel. If not, you can send us an email at news@theblockupdate.com, or fill in the feedback form on our website, which is theblockupdate.com. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this show, then you can help us out by going to patreon.com/theblockupdate and pledging at any tier. We would be very thankful of that. Slack, have you got anything going on this week in terms of videos?
Videos, no. Streams are just all over the place because my schedule is, crazy while in the UK.
Fair enough. I will hopefully have videos going out on both, hopefully on my Duckshot channel as well, but we'll see. Okay, all that's left to say is the same thing I say at the end of every single podcast, and that is that if you don't like trains that are pulling the wrong thing, then tell me about it in my comments so I can make fun of you in the next one. Okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
There's a Foxy over there. You see him? Yeah.
There's a baby Isaac on my screen.
What's
he doing? He's wearing Superman clothes.
Isaac, what are you doing? Oh.
And now there's a giraffe on someone's arm. It's not a giraffe, it's a camel.